Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here. Welcome back to some MechWarrior Living Legends 2 news. As of yesterday, this post went live, and of course, for those that haven't watched, I sat down with two of the developers a while ago on a podcast to discuss the project and their switch over from MechWarrior 5 to their own project in Unreal 5. And of course, we talked about the challenges, some of their goals, but ultimately, a lot of it was, I wouldn't say wishful thinking, but it was far out, right? They had a lot of work to do. And as of yesterday, we actually have an update to that. So here we have an actually updated IndieDB page. And one of the first things you're going to notice is the name change. Living Legends 2 is now Living Legends 2 Armored Combat. Now, they talk about that specifically in this post, and we're going to go ahead and go into detail over this post. One of the first things that strikes you at the very beginning is a work in progress bushwhacker. Now, this is actually being done by Nene himself, and that's one of the devs I interviewed. And there are two other images here. But of course, again, here is the bushwhacker work in progress. So let's go ahead and dive into this post and what the details include. And of course, one of them is to check out the old ModDB page. Well, this is an IndieDB page. And let's go ahead and start here. It says, our work on the standalone build began in earnest in late June, with pre-production winding down shortly after the previous developer update. The code team set to work to create a minimal viable prototype by the end of August. First came the basics of functional multiplayer game, things like networking, movement, and rudimentary main menu. Then, piece by piece, it became something more recognizable, albeit with everything in placeholder form. Here we have the second image of a mech, and this is the work in progress Marauder. I'm definitely digging the low poly here. You can see they're starting to do more details. And now here we have the next item. We created basic but functional weapons and damage systems, sensors, targeting systems, respawning, and game mode systems. We got our vehicles implemented in the new engine and made them usable in-game. Eventually, we implemented our first mech, the Bushwhacker, fully animated and playable. 6 weeks into our prototype sprint, the pieces came together enough for the playtesting to begin, and most significant milestone yet. By the time our planned development sprint concluded, its goal had been achieved and exceeded, having recouped over a year's worth of work on now depreciated mod in a fraction of the time. Now, again, that's going back to the reference of our last podcast where they decided to move away from the MechWarrior 5 editor in Unreal 4 and do their own project in Unreal 5. And they talked about the development snafu, which is every single time there was an update from MechWarrior 5, it ultimately would break and or cause a severe amount of work, especially with a mod this big and grandiose, right? So obviously another image of the Atlas here, and we got some animation as well to show off with that. At the time of writing, nearly all game systems are implemented in at least placeholder form, save for the ammunition and heat. From here on out, we'll be working to make our pre-alpha prototype into something more representative of our intended designs and polishing up content so we can show more off to all of you. First things first, I'd like to look at the Atlas here and the Marauder. Definitely whoever's working on this, kudos. I like the aesthetic, the style, the high poly model here, and you can see that's what they're doing with the Marauder. I definitely dig these styles, and you can see whoever is working on this is also working on this. And I do know, for instance, the Bushwhacker is being worked on Nene himself. He's one of the developers. And I definitely dig these two styles as well. So whoever you're having work on those, definitely try to keep an art aesthetic across the board. That's just my feedback on it. Back when in the day when I worked on Living Legends and did the Stormcrow, you had a whole host of artists that basically put their own spin on stuff, and it made the mechs look sort of disjointed. Nothing looked sort of similar. Albeit I will say this, one of the issues with MWO I have with the art styles, you never really can tell a difference. It's not like there's different manufacturers or anything like that. So that is something that I'm okay with, but if anything, I really actually think this is a cool design. Same thing with the Marauder. I can see where they're going. So kudos to you guys on that. All right, so that's it for the development news we have to share for now. So here's some tidbits unrelated to development. As you probably noticed, the name changed once again. Many of us felt that Living Legends 2 was a little lacking without the main title MechWarrior in front of it. In the months following the decision to go standalone, we discussed and debated a myriad of alternatives. The subtitle Armored Combat stuck among the rest, invoking both the source material and gameplay itself. We're working on building our own online presence, but we do not have a full-time social media manager. If you're on Twitter, follow us for some sneak peeks. Back in July, two of our lead devs that I talked about appeared on the legendary No Guts, No Galaxy podcast. Phil interviewed us about the story so far and our ambitions for the future. I hope to do that again. Lastly, we've been approved for Steam partnership. Steam has been an incredibly helpful tool for facilitating internal playtests. However, our store page is staying hidden until the game is ready for open alpha testing. That concludes the development. If you'd like to know more, they've got a Discord as well. And of course, you can find all that information here. Now, what does Steam partnership mean? Well, I actually asked them in my Twitch chat yesterday. They popped in, and by the way, I do stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll have a link down below. Come join us. It's a great time. And we asked them, what does that mean? And really, it just means the tools and analytics behind the scenes for Steam. And for those that are unaware, what is this project? Living Legends 2 is a basically predecessor to Living Legends. Living Legends is a multi-armed, multifaceted mech vehicle, combined arms. You have aerospace, maybe even VTOLs, tank, you name it. Even in the past, they had battle armor. It's a multi-armored vehicle game, again, everything. And you, as a player, get to basically play in all those different type of vehicles and mechs. So combined arms, if you will. And it's a predecessor to Living Legends. Living Legends is older than MechWarrior Online, and they are setting to create a number 2. So number 2, for those that are unaware, was actually being developed in MechWarrior 5 as far as the editor. But back in the first DLC days, where basically the mod broke a significant amount of stuff, they decided it was best for them to go their own way and create basically their own product. Now, this is completely free. They're not charging anything. There's nothing like that. This isn't as far as this is a non-for-profit fan project. And we talked a little bit about that in the last podcast. I sat down with them. So anyways, that's what it is. For those that don't know, it's a combined arms, Battletech MechWarrior sort of game that has some pretty unique features that, again, make a really fun gameplay experience. So that's the first update. And I did mention we have a few videos here. So let's go ahead and check out the animations. And this is one of them. This is the Atlas here. And this is the run animation. And I definitely dig it. And it's a very good job. And of course, here is the Bushwhacker, and it's walking. And of course, with anything, all games, they go through cycles. So you may not like the animation, you may not like it, so forth and so on. But at least here is a work in progress, and we'll just go ahead and showcase those again. I definitely like the arm swing. That's always really important to me. Now, as far as details, that's pretty much all we know. We don't know anything here. Here's a Manticore tank, work in progress. Here's a Stormcrow concept. Again, the cool thing is they are working, Highlander concept. They've got Unknown. It looks like an aerospace fighter, something to that as well. So there are a few images here, but ultimately I just wanted to cover it for those that were unaware that they have a new IndieDB page. Where obviously they'll be making posts, and I'll keep you guys updated as far as if there's going to be any play tests soon, if there's any news, if there's any images, and definitely I'll reach out and hopefully do another podcast with them to talk about this, because again, this is a pretty big project, and that's one thing I am super hopeful that they're able to achieve their goals, because again, this is big and grandiose. And that's actually probably my only drawback to this entire project. Is it really, I think, is a bummer that they didn't stay with MechWarrior 5, because with at least MechWarrior 5, 90% of the stuff was done as far as the mech models and animations and so forth and so on. But they decided to go their own route, and I can definitely understand that, especially with, dealing with mods and them breaking, and, if you have also a vision for something, so it's Unreal 5 for those that don't know. There's a lot of freedom out there for them to be able to design their own stuff, but they have to design it and then implement it themselves. But, again, I will cover any more information that comes out and let you guys know. So for those that didn't know, there is a Living Legends 2 coming out, hopefully in the near future, at least as far as something to be able to play in the near maybe 2022 or something like that. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, click that like button, leave a comment. Did you ever play Living Legends? Do you even know about Living Legends? Is this something that interests you? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope to see you on the next video. Until next time, peace.